The house at 8115 Orlando West still bears the scars of police raids and gun battles. Winnie Mandela was asked about the bullet holes still visible in the walls.
From the police, when we were fighting, when they would come and raid, they used the yard next door to monitor activities. And at times they would see these young people coming at dead of night, and we were not aware that they are observing from the opposite house. And guerrillas were there to be killed. It wasn't even a question of raiding the house and finding out who exactly it is. So what they would do, if I refused to open the door, they would be convinced that they are inside, and they would fire. And it didn't matter which part of the house they fired on, they just shot. And of course, on one occasion, fire was returned.
The one cadre who was trapped.
Yeah. There were many battles in that house.
The tree you can see in the corner of the front garden at 8115 Orlando West has a special significance for the Mandela family, as Winnie Mandela explains.
There are peace trees at the back. I thought we were talking about the trees in front. That's what I meant. That tree at the corner, that is a sacred tree. That's where their umbilical cords are. All of them, all the children, including my grandchildren, those that were born here. It's our tradition. We bury the cord of newly born babies after 10 days. Some of them, of course, fall before that 10 days. It is an African tradition, particularly in this royal house, and in fact, it's a historical relationship between us and the land, earth. That is why we believe you have to relate the child to the earth, because that is the relationship of an African with the soil. That's why when we depart, we believe we return earth to earth. And it is that relationship, that umbilical cord, that still unites us to this day. My relationship with my daughters, my relationship with my grandchildren, that is the relationship between our land and us, ourselves. So all of them, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, the umbilical cord comes there because we believe that's where their ancestors are, because that's where we lived, and that is where their grandparents used to come and visit. So the ancestors are there.
For many South Africans, the house at 8115 Orlando West has become a symbol of the struggle for freedom and liberation. For the Mandela family, it will always remain a home. Zinzi Mandela was asked how she felt about the development of 8115 as a national heritage site.
I think, it's one of those things that one was never prepared for. I think there's so many things that the struggle, as much as it matures you, and you learn to think way beyond your particular existence or age, there are at the same time so many things that you never take into consideration. We were having this conversation in the car now with my sister and saying, for us it was always just a home. But when you think of the history of the family, the history of the home, and you think of heritage sites, of course it is a heritage site. But nobody actually prepared us for that and said, sit down now, one day, this is what the expectations should be from your life. This is what it will mean being first family. These are the sacrifices you might have to make. This is what might have to change, and so on, And for us, initially, it was quite a shock, when it ceased to be our home as such, where we actually, because a lot of the traditional ceremonies, we would still do that because of the symbolism of that tree, and we always spill the blood there, and so on and so forth. So it has taken quite a bit of adjusting to. But I think what is very important, not just for us, first of all, our stories have to be told. It's therapeutic. It's a very healing process to talk about your experiences. And secondly, our stories have to be documented, because where we have failed to talk to our children, at least this type of project helps to articulate for us, because it's still difficult for us to talk to our kids sometimes about things that we went through, whether it was when you were tortured or whether it was like a particular experience of vulnerability, of abuse and so on. It's still quite difficult. So this helps you to document. And I think it's the most beautiful gift that this family can give.